I clicked live.
Yes,
And
welcome, welcome.
we are live. We are live. We are live. Why can't I get to? Okay, there we are. Back to comments.
You got it?
Okay. Yes.
Hello
Yes.
and welcome. We are so excited to be back, and we have something special for you today. But before we start, just in case you don't know who we are, who are you, Gina?
Who am I? I am this magical being that creates these marvelous teas.
I
And I
love
happen to be in this amazing group with my co host MJ, with other
it.
fabulous magical beings.
That is so beautiful. Uh-huh. But
But
who are you? Who are you? Tell these people before you're creating this magic, but who is the person creating the magic as we talk about it? Because just as the person we're about to announce, you are an alchemist as well.
yes. I'm the master herbalist behind these tea blends. For those of you who aren't aware, that yes, that is one of the hats that I wear. And that whole journey to becoming a master herbalist is a long story, but basically, in a nutshell, I ended up getting sick back in the day, many years ago. That's a whole other lifetime. Started doing more research, getting back to nature. And then during that journey, decided, you know what? If I'm doing all this research, might as well get certified for it. So I did. And then throughout all of that, jumping ahead a few years, I just became a master herbalist, and then started blending a bunch of teas. And then somebody named MJ said, "Well, Gina, are you selling these things?"
No, Gina's
So
gonna sell these things because this is
yes,
her. She needs. She's keeping this hidden secret all to herself, and she needs to sell
yes.
it to the world. Okay, and I want you to know one of my favorite teas in the whole wide world is made by this amazing woman right here. So, thank you.
Thank you, thank you. So yes, as far as the this particular version of me, I'm the creator of these different teas, and I've launched three. Today's the official launch of one of them, but I've launched three already, and this is I've launched the Mary Magdalene, I've
Amazing,
launched the Lady
amazing.
of the
Come on,
Lake, and
just as
then
good.
today it's going to be Merlin. And if you're not familiar with Merlin, I don't
We're gonna
understand how.
inform you. We're going to
Yes.
inform you. But before we jump up, let me step one step back. Let's Merlin. Let's talk about Mary Magdalene tea. From my point of view, I'm just going to tell you as a connoisseur who drinks it constantly, it is one of my favorite teas. One, it is grounding because teas ground. I'm on the spiritual side of this fence because Gina is the master herbalist. I am the master spiritual being on this side. I am the magical. We both are, but I focus on the magic on this group. I focus on the spirituality, connecting the crystals and the herbs and what did it do in back in the day. So for Gina's tea, Mary Magdalene just brings Mary Magdalene up in front into you. I feel that she's right with me and she makes me feel calm. She makes me feel loved. I feel so good when I drink that tea. It's like a tea of compassion for yourself because every zip for me is like, I'm good. I'm okay. Thank you, Mary. I'm good. I'm okay. And that's how I feel when I drink that amazing tea. So if you haven't gotten yourself some and you want a great connection with Mary, you want a journey with Mary, this is the tea for you. And you know what? This tea is so worth it. And it's so inexpensive at the same.
Right. Yeah.
So Gina's going to tell you where to get that. I just want to talk about the teas. The second tea, let's talk about Lady of the Lake. Go back to that video. We showed you our swords we made because of the Lady of the Lake. Let me tell you about Lady of the Lake. Lady of the Lake is a journeying tea. You want to go on a journey, you want to connect with spirit, that is the tea. It contains blue lotus and all the herbs that you need to connect. And it calms. Okay, it's calming to you. It stops the chatter of the mind. So if you have a monkey mind that's always blah, 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 this tea calms it. So that way you can zen. And if you don't like to journey, it's Zen tea. It's just to be in your space, connecting with your body. That tea is beautiful for that. And it turns a color. It's magic. So Those are her two teas. But now, today, with Merlin, because we brought Merlin with you,
Mhm.
we're going to talk about this magic. So, Gina, tell us about Merlin.
And Merlin is the one that I'm drinking right now. And when I tell you that it is true magic. I was telling MJ before we came on that I could actually use that as a meditation. You know how some people will sit and watch a candle, the candle flame, and use that as meditation. I sat there and watched this tea change when I pour the hot water in, change from a golden yellow, then to more of an orange, and now more of a deeper orange. And then if I'd let it sit there longer, it would have gone to like a pinkish color because of the dragon fruit that's in there. So I could actually use this as a meditation tool, right? Which I thought was really neat because I kind of gotten I don't know how I don't not carried away. How do you entranced? That's the word I was looking for. I got entranced. Hi, Laurie. As I was watching this tea steep, and it was like when I looked at the time, I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to get on. I came on, and MJ was already here waiting. So that's yes, I blame Merlin for that. I was literally watching tea, watching this tea steep. But I want to show you what it looks like in its raw form with just all of the different um, and this tea was channeled, just so you're aware, this was a channeled tea blend, and this is what it looks like. It's got, and I'm going to tell you all of the ingredients, but look at all of the, and I just spilled some. Look at all of the different colors that are in here.
It's so beautiful.
It is a
I can see the
really,
purples, some blues in there. It's beautiful.
it's a really pretty tea blend, and there is one special blend in here, or one special ingredient, which I just could not put together a Merlin blend without having something resembling the dragon. So dragon fruit is in here. Speaking of the
We're
dragon,
all about
in case you missed it, in case you missed
we are all about the dragons here. All of it. I'll just sit here with my little friend.
it, I sent a message to a friend of mine recently, and I said, I've been mildly obsessed with the dragon, and not mildly is putting it mildly. I've been obsessed with the dragon since I was a little kid, and even as an adult, I can remember my daughter jokingly said, Mom, um, it might not be so grown up to have dragons on your bedspread. I'm like, but why? Why not?
Wow.
So yes, because I actually had a whole sheet set of nothing but dragons. You walked in and there's just fabulous dragons. My room was just vivid red. I was all about dragons. I've got books about dragons. I watch all the movies about dragons. If you're watching House of Dragon, big fan.
Oh my God. Yes.
Yes. The show Merlin, yes. So
Another great show. If you haven't seen it,
yes,
I'm going to talk to you about Merlin. I'm going to
yes,
give you a little detail when we're ready for that. But let's talk about the tea Merlin. But yeah, but she woman.
yes.
Now, she and I are the same because I am dragon. I'm going to admit it. I'll say it to you now. You look at me, I'm crazy. I am dragon and I live it. It's my spirit, it's my soul. I connect to the dragon realm. I can astral travel there. And when I tell you it is the most amazing place, it is real, it does exist. These dragons are your friends, just like your angels, your ancestors, and your guides. You, my dear friend, have dragon guides as well. If you harness that energy, you can connect with them and they will be with you forever.
Yeah, absolutely. So I have a banner running across the bottom. That is where you can get all of these teas that MJ is talking about, including the Merlin tea blend. So just call. You can go to the website. The phone number will be there. There'll also be an email there that you can email, but the best way to do it is to just call them, and the phone number is there. And I'm there all the time. It's like my second home, and there's a whole other story around how we got connected. But MJ, Annika and her husband James are the two people who currently run Mrs. Mango. Mrs. Mango was Annika's grandmother who started this place over 50 years ago, and it is still in the same location that it was started in over 50 years ago. If you're in the Cocoa area, Rockledge area, please stop by because it is a fabulous place. Doesn't look like much, but trust me, on the inside,
I
pure magic.
I haven't been, but I order, and I want to tell you, when anyone that picks up that phone treats you like gold. When I tell you, and you want to stay on the phone for hours, they become your best friends, and you never want to hang up. That's how cool these people are. So please give them support these people because they have amazing products and they're really good people.
All right. I'm gonna run off real quickly. So MJ, I'm gonna let you talk about Merlin while I
Okay,
give me 10 seconds.
yes,
But I'm gonna
cool.
let you start by talking about Merlin. Okay, be right back.
Okay, so let's talk about who is Merlin. Merlin the wizard. So, Merlin is the messenger of initiation and alchemy and is both the magician and the high priest. He is the masculine keeper of magic and has the ability to turn iron ore into gold. The Merlin says, "You have all you need to move forward. Rejoice that all the elements you require for success are indeed present." And when we talk elements, we are talking of the four elements. And everyone, the alchemist knows how to alchemize their elements to be totally in balance. So, what we're talking about elements, we're talking about your fire, your air, your water, and your earth. And if you alchemize your elements, you balance yourself. Do you know if you're out of balance? Check your elements. You don't know how to check it. I don't even know what that is. Start with your zodiac signs. Pull a chart, and that will tell you your elements. But Merlin is the keeper of the secrets. Okay, Merlin is the one for the tinctures. Merlin is the one that helps. Merlin is the one with the sword. Merlin is the alchemist. If everything he is, you may hear all his stories, he is the one that turns stuff to gold. And where do you turn stuff to gold? Just using the elements. And that is Merlin. And Merlin has a thing for his dragons. So when you see Merlin, you see his dragons. And yes, is that a different one? Yes. MJ is all about the dragons. So you'll see me come up with all my dragons.
Yes, I've got all kinds of dragons.
See, we're there. You got drag. We talk dragon language, so this is dragon people. So this is what about Merlin is. All right. So now let's talk about the tea.
All right, so Merlin tea, of course, I mentioned that, you know, has to have dragon fruit in it because dragon fruit, dragons, yes, has to have a representation of the dragon in there for Merlin. So the ingredients are dragon fruit, and we also have blue corn flour. We also have in there eleuthero or Siberian ginseng. It's the same thing. We have elderberry, there's orange peel, there's licorice root, there's bergamot, and there's also vanilla and raspberry leaf. I believe that is it. So we're going to focus on the ingredients that we haven't spoken about in the past because there's some ingredients in here that are in other tea blends that we've talked about. And what I did was I went into the YouTube channel and I created a playlist that says Tea Talk Tuesday. So all of the tea talks will be in there, and you'll be able to go in and find the particular tea talk that discusses the the ingredients that we won't talk about in detail today. You'll find them in other in other videos. So, but we wanted to focus on the ingredients that we really haven't focused on before, and one of those is dragon fruit. And chances are you know what dragon fruit is. If you don't, dragon fruit grows on a cactus. It's a climbing, call it a climbing cactus, or I tend to call it a vining cactus. It's usually grown along kind of a trellis, right? Those type of settings. So dragon fruit comes in, usually find it in a yellow, whitish color or purple. When you slice open the yellow, chances are on the inside it's going to be white. But I do believe that there is one that has yellow on the inside as well. There's one that is pink on the outside. When you slice it open, sometimes it's white and sometimes it's this vivid purple color. And that is my favorite, the one that is purple. I just like the color of it. Um, to me, that there's not necessarily any difference in taste, but the purple, it just does something to me. I think it has to do with the color and that regal, look to it, that kind of stuff. So it is typically grown around Central America. Like that is where it originated, but now you can find it in Asia. In Central America, it's called pitaya. In Asia, it's called the strawberry pear. And if you look at it, you'll notice why it's called a pear. And when you cut it open, why it's referred to as kind of like a strawberry because of the tiny little black seeds that are on the inside. It tastes kind of like a cross between a kiwi, a pear, and a watermelon. So if you can imagine all of those in your mouth at the same time, that is kind of the flavor of a dragon fruit.
It's
It is
unique.
yes, it's definitely unique, and to me it's an acquired taste. But I think once you taste it the first time, and you have to give this, you have to really connect with this fruit. Don't just bite it and say, "Oh, I don't like that." You really have to to connect with it. And the reason I said that is my youngest son. I made a fruit salad one day, and I had dragon fruit in it, and he's the type that it looks weird. He's not going to try it. But I had a whole dragon fruit sitting in the refrigerator, and he came out and he picked it up. He said, "Mom, can I have this?" And I looked at him and said, "Do you know what that is?" He said, "Yes." "And you still want to eat it?" "Yes." And he did. He sliced it open, cut it up, and he ate it. And then he turned around and I said, "Well, the fruit salad is there. Help yourself to it as well because there's dragon fruit in it." So it took him. And let me tell you, the first time I introduced dragon fruit to him, I think might have been 2 years ago, 3 years ago. And now he's okay, I'm good to go. Slice that baby up, and he sat there and
He
he ate
loves it.
it. So you take some time to connect with it. I'm not saying it's going to take you 3 years,
Right.
but take the time to connect with the fruit before you say, okay, no, this is not for me. Okay.
It's got a unique taste to it. It's just
Yes.
like here, there is a, it's called quenepa here in Puerto Rico, and it's a little shelled fruit. And when you open it up, it's real, you gotta crack it open and it's real fuzzy and you don't wanna, but once you taste it, it's like, holy crap. But until that time, and but this one it has a it, I'm gonna say unique. It has a
Yes.
unique flavor. It's not like a pear or a peach. It has a unique flavor, but it's really good.
Yes, it is. Um, and you can eat it. I like to eat it raw. I also like to put it in smoothies, but I find that when you put it into smoothies, it's no, not smoothies. I like to juice it. But when you juice it, there's a totally different consistency. Um, so I don't juice it as much. I tend to just blend it up or freeze it and then blend it up into smoothies. So however you decide to work with it. But yeah, I mentioned the taste. So it is so rich in antioxidants. It is naturally fat-free. I mean, what fruit can boast that? Naturally fat-free, high in fiber, very high in fiber. And researchers say that it actually replaces damaged cells in your pancreas. So if you have any issues with sugar being too high, too low, it said that the this particular fruit, the dragon fruit, goes in and replaces the damaged cells in your pancreas to kind of help to balance your blood sugar. So I mean, that alone right there, and there are a lot of research to show that that happens. It is loaded with prebiotics, and I know we talk about probiotics a lot. That every day you should be taking probiotics to help your gut, to help your immune system, but the the dragon fruit actually has prebiotics which help to feed the bacteria or the probiotics already in your gut. Because you need both. You need prebiotics and probiotics, right? So the prebiotics is what the dragon fruit actually gives you, and it encourages the growth of the good bacteria. And the two that it actually focuses on is one called lactobacillus, and the other one is bifidobacteria. So those are two that live in the gut. I mean, there's a host of others, but the dragon fruit actually helps to feed these two particular um, probiotics that live in our stomach. So it helps to also kill the bad stuff that's there, and it also helps to digest the food because it's a prebiotic, which aids the probiotics, which then aids the digestion in your stomach. So right there alone, it's high in vitamin C. So again, there's going to help your immune system. It's high in iron. So anyone with anemia or iron deficiency anemia, because you have to clarify the types of anemia. If you're deficient in iron, this is going to help because dragon fruit is very high in iron. It is, or I wanted to mention that have been isolated incidents, very few incidents of people actually being allergic to dragon fruit, but it's considered to be generally safe. There's been so few that I do have to mention it. So few incidents though that some people are allergic to it, but in general, it's considered to be a safe fruit. One of the things I did want to mention is that when you do eat dragon fruit, and it depends on the particular one that you eat. If you eat the one that's purple, you wait a couple hours and you go to pee, your pee might be purple or reddish color. Don't be alarmed. That's what it does. It does the same thing as beets. If you eat beets and you wait a couple hours and you go to use the bathroom and yes, your pee is going to be red, but
Right.
you just be aware. Remember, okay, I ate beets earlier, maybe that's what it is. Or I ate purple dragon fruit earlier, that's what it is. But if you didn't eat
Don't bug
either of
out.
these things, right,
Go
so,
to the doctor.
right, if you did not eat either of these two things and you're experiencing that problem, then yes, chances are you need to see a doctor, okay? So, but don't be alarmed when you eat dragon fruit, the purple kind especially, and and beets that it turns your pee red or pinkish color, right? Don't be alarmed. Um, Dragon fruit is also high in omega-3s and omega-9 fatty acids. So I wanted to mention that, and it does help to reduce the bad cholesterol. I don't like to say bad cholesterol, but I guess that's what it's called. So by the fact that it has these, omega-3s and omega-9s in the fruit, it is highly anti-inflammatory. It's considered good for the eyes because it's loaded with beta carotene, and it said that 1 cup or 200 grams of dragon fruit a day will help to improve your eyesight. It is considered to be safe for pregnancy because of the vitamin B and the folic acid, as well as the high iron content. So if you are pregnant, it is safe for you to consume when you are pregnant. And that is dragon fruit in a nutshell. Maybe we could go on and on and on, but that is it in a nutshell.
So, what do we got? For me, dragon fruit is associated with the moon. And did you know that it only blooms at night? And that's the time that you have to go and harvest it is at night. It is not a day plant, okay?
Yeah.
So, it is a fierce protector spiritually. That plant right there is all about protection. Merlin's dragon coming right at you, all right? It is set, it is victory, it is strength, it is appreciation for life. Okay. According to the legend, the fruit was created thousands of years ago in the battle when dragons would burn their fire, when dragons were burning everything down and burned their fire. The last thing that emerged once the fire was over was dragon fruit. And they would come. It was believed that they would harvest the dragon fruit, and when they feast on it, they would gain access to the dragon energies. So it was a very popular thing to go and when attack the dragons, which was a bad thing, don't attack dragons, and go. And when the dragon would spit the fire, a rose was a bush of dragon fruit. And they loved it. I've loved that story so much.
Yeah.
Eating dragon fruit connects you to the moon. It opens up your sacral chakra, increases your creativity, and connects you with your dragon spirit guides. So if you are interested in connecting with your spirit guides, this tea is for you. That's what I have for dragon fruit.
Amazing. So if you think the dragon fruit, MJ just mentioned about the dragon, their fire would wherever it burned would you would see the dragon fruit grow, right? Well, this next ingredient also has that kind of a magical story around it, or legend, I should say. It's not, but this one is not really a legend because it's been documented. The blue cornflower. It is said that the blue cornflower is one of the few plants that survived both World War One and World War Two that they can actually prove. It survived the bombs, it survived fires, it survived everything that was thrown at it, and among all of the other plants. And the blue cornflower was one of the few plants that actually managed to come through the mud and all the areas that were burned and the bombing, and survived and continues to thrive to this day. And it's used in so many different forms. One thing I do want to point out, blue cornflower is part of the aster family, an aster or the daisy family. So if you are allergic to things like dandelion, um, you can't drink this tea. I'm sorry. Yeah, because the blue cornflower is part of the aster family. Um, and if you have any allergies to those, yeah, you would definitely be allergic to this particular tea because it does have the
Okay.
blue cornflower. Now, it's blue cornflower is called the eyeglass breaker. I don't know if you knew that, MJ. It's called the eyeglass breaker because of the benefits that it can have on your eyesight. And it one of the ways that it was used quite a bit is for people who had conjunctivitis. They would make eye drops, like, or an eye wash with it, and they were always amazed at how quickly it helped to relieve the conjunctivitis symptoms. So that's why it's called the eyeglass breaker, because it's really good for your eyes. And supposedly if you're wearing glasses and you drink enough of the blue cornflower, it's supposed to be able to repair your vision so well that you don't need the glasses anymore. Hence the name eyeglass
Yes.
breaker. Um, it does help with anxiety as well. Anxiety, stress, depression. It has loads of digestive benefits. It is anti-inflammatory, so if you have any issues with any kind of autoimmune conditions like rheumatoid arthritis, lupus, anything that causes joint pain or muscle pain, even eye pain, again, that's also an area where it's very, very good. Mm. It has been used a lot. This is one thing I did not realize. I learned something new. It's used a lot in makeup because especially for the eye gels where you have for people who have dark under eye circles, there's blue cornflower in there, and I only found that out recently. So it's used for makeup. It is also used for in products that help with skin rashes like eczema, those type of things. Blue cornflower has also been used for fevers. It's helpful in regulating your kidney function. I mean, this is when I was telling MJ earlier, I was going to keep in mind I created this tea blend. This was a channel tea blend. When I really sat down and went through all of these ingredients and the benefits of all of the ingredients, I thought, oh my gosh, this literally helps with from your crown chakra all the way down to the root chakra, everything in between. It really does benefit so many different areas in the body. This blue cornflower is associated with renewal, rebirth, resurrection, and it's because of these stories around World War One and World War Two, where so many bombs and so many fires and being covered up with mud and mudslides and all of these things, and wiped out most of the plant life. But the blue cornflower was one of those plants that just kept on coming back. So it's been associated with rebirth and renewal and resurrection. And in ancient Egypt, King Tut was actually when they finally found his mummy, around his neck was what do you call it, like a wreath, necklace type thing that had blue cornflowers in it, and they believe that that was one of the reasons why the blue cornflower was used, was because, you know, when pharaohs are buried, it's supposed to help to carry them over to the next life, in the afterlife, right? So they believe that that's one of the reasons why the blue cornflower was used for King Tut. The Greeks, there's a story with the Greeks. It said that when Hercules shot Achilles with an arrow and injured him, that blue cornflowers were used to help heal the wound. Again, that renewal and rebirth story. In the Middle Ages, blue cornflower was actually used to symbolize the Virgin Mary. Let me see, make sure I'm not missing anything. So that is what I have for the blue cornflower. Blue cornflower, I don't believe I use that in any other tea blend, so I wanted to focus on this and the dragon fruit. But if you've never worked with blue cornflower before, let me see if I can take out a piece and show you. It is it's literally blue. It's a very, very
It's
pretty blue,
blue. Yeah.
almost like a royal purple almost. I have a tiny piece here, and I'm sure you can see that. It's so, so pretty. But that is the blue cornflower.
Wow, that's great. And thank you for those beautiful stories, Gina. That is amazing. So let me add on to more of that spiritual. I'm going to take you a little bit further. So she said it's an eye cracker. Remember, it's a glass breaker. You're breaking your sight. Back when we're talking back when Merlin time, let's bring Merlin out here. It was used as a wash to open up your third eye and see. Because in the spiritual sect, it is connected with your third eye, so you can see the gifts. So they would use it to see. So on the spiritual, the magic side, you want to use that for to open up your clair abilities, to connect with your third eye, to really connect with that chakra at the same time. So if you are trying to connect with your clair gifts and really put yourself together and have the gift to see, this tea will help you with other things. Practice, practice, practice. But this tea is one of the ingredients that is really good just for that. It is strength. It is psychic insight. It helps you 100% see. And even in Egyptian times, where she said it's for the afterlife, they would put it on so he had sight to see his way into the afterlife. But before that, it was also the wash so they can see. Multiple cultures knew that this one herb was to open up right here. And that's what it's for.
And this is why I have MJ on the show, because I didn't even make that connection until just now. The color of blue cornflower is blue, and that color blue, indigo, is associated with the third eye. In the herbal sense, it is used to, help with issues concerning the eyes, among other things, but the issues concerning the eyes. And on the spiritual sense, it is used to open the third eye. And this is why we do this, because we want you to make that connection, even though I just made it myself right here. I can be very, transparent with stuff like that. But yeah, it's to really give you a sense that those herbs that you have in your pantry, or that you buy because they look pretty. I mean, the very first time I bought the blue cornflower was because I just love the color. It was just such a pretty color to have.
Look, and
And
you can add it to crystals, and you can add it to your candle. Look, and it's blue. And they told me to turn around and grab it, and it's already in here. This candle was specifically made with it. This is a third eye candle. So,
yeah,
hello, welcome to it. This is what you have to. And look, you can add it to any candle. You can get a tea light candle and just form it up if you're not, new to all this, and you can just add a couple little puts it in there, and that's it. There you go. You created your
yes.
own candle magic. So, hello, third eye. And when you want to focus, I'll give you a trick, a little tip. Light the candle up or the little tea light, smell it in, and stare at your candle. Focus, set your intention, open my eye, open my eye, and open your eye.
Ooh, I just got chills. Woo. All right. So, and keep in mind the name of the name of it is Merlin. And like I said, I channeled this particular tea blend But when I sit down with a tea blend, I look at it the from the medicinal aspects of it. Let's put it to use that term. And I have MJ on because I love to hear her take on the metaphysical, the spiritual aspects of it. But a lot of the times you'll see on when we do the show, they converge. The medicinal side and the spiritual side, they connect. And that's what I love to do on the show, is to connect so that you make that connection yourself when you're working with them. Right?
It
So
is an eye wash. So yes, I want you to know also back in the day before we're talking medieval times and way back when there was no medicine and they had issues with the eyes, this is the
yes,
tincture they would make for the eyes as well. So this goes
yes,
way back. This goes
yeah,
way back. And these herbs, all of them, alone or together, it's magic. It's medicine. And that's what we're trying to show you. It's both.
yes, it certainly is. All right, so the next ingredient we're going to talk about, we've already discussed in great detail. I've linked, like I said, all of the tea talks in the tea talk playlist, so you can go back and you can watch the ones that you might have missed. You don't have to search; they're all there. So at the end of this, you'll be able to click on and find the others. But Eleuthero ginseng, Eleuthero or Siberian ginseng is an adaptogen. So basically, what that means is when it goes into your body, it kind of goes around and becomes like almost like an investigator, so to speak, right? And figures out what's out of whack and fixes it. In the area where the Siberian ginseng typically is associated with cognitive function. So it'll go in and kind of work around your body and help your body to adapt or bring it back to homeostasis, right? So that's why it's called an adaptogen. And the Siberian ginseng is specifically for cognitive function, although it's been shown to help with lymphatic function as well. A lot of athletes work with this to help to enhance the way that their muscles work during exercise, so they don't experience fatigue as much, and also helps with your joints. It helps to balance out blood pressure. Um, in some cases, it can raise your blood pressure a little bit too much. So if you are taking if you're on if you're on blood pressure medicine, you might want to be a little careful. Even though it does have the eleuthero is an adaptogen, you do have to be a little wary. And I always say, before you take any kind of herbal supplements or whatever, if you're taking pharmaceuticals, make sure that you're consulting with your doctor, and that your doctor always know, when they ask you, well, are you taking any natural things? Don't say no, because this tea with all of these ingredients would be considered a natural
Natural.
supplement. Yes, so make sure that they're always aware that you're taking these. Okay. It does help to prevent as well as repair nerve damage. And there's a whole story I could tell you surrounding that and how long ago I actually started to work with this. It's been shown to increase your bone strength, as well as women who are going through menopause. The eleuthero is also really good for that. And this is one of the main ingredients in my herbal coffee. And I fully believe, when I had that complete hysterectomy many years ago, my doctor said, you're going to go into instant menopause and all of this is going to happen. And I looked at him and I said, no, it's not. But I fully believe that by working with these different adaptogens, and eleuthero is one of them, ashwagandha is another one that I work with, that they do help to kind of put my body back where it needs to be. So my body didn't go through all of the different, major hot flashes and things that women with menopause tend to experience. Because eleuthero is an adaptogen, and it does that. It helps your body to adapt, right? And to kind of go in and work on areas that kind of need a little bit of shifting. That might be a better word for it. It's just it's a shifter in your energy. So I'm good. That's it in a nutshell. There's a lot more to eleuthero, but like I said, we've discussed this in great detail in other videos. So that is eleuthero or Siberian ginseng.
Right. And that's spirit. You can go to the videos, but this is protection once again. This is love. This is breaking the hexes and curses. This is for that type of magic. This is putting it in a satchel to have that protection so that way no one can hex you, having it at your door or burning it if you feel like you have been. This is what this is a darker element to help you with some types of magic to get things away. To get things away. So say you have some, you feel like, I'm going to use a daily instincts because I don't want you to think this is scary. So say you had an argument with someone, a friend, and now you're no longer friends and you can't stop thinking about that situation. And whereas you're not speaking to each other anymore, it's in your mind and you're there, and day and night all you do is think. You need to get some of this tea in your system because it breaks the energy between you and that person to bring the clarity back into your mind. You see what I said? You see how exactly? So it's not, oh, scary magic hexes. It breaks the energy between you so you don't have playing those recordings over in your head. It helps you with your own thoughts. This is a good tea for that. It breaks away. So think of it as a pusher away. It pushes energy away. So it's really good for that. Light a candle. Once again, that same candle, little energy. I don't want this energy around me no more. Set your intention and let it go. Watch the candle and be gone.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. And that's one of the things, again, when I was talking with MJ earlier, it's like when you sit down and you really think about the benefits of these teas from the medicinal side to the spiritual side, it's a very powerful tea blend. And when you think about the name that's on this tea, I mean, when you think of Merlin, I just think of greatest sorcerer that ever lived, greatest magician that
Absolutely.
ever lived, greatest, it's just, yeah. So it's perfect.
And you can harness that energy, harness it. And you don't believe it? Once again, I'm going to tell you to take a candle, the same candle, light it, call in Merlin, drink some tea, call in Merlin. Come back and tell us what you get.
Yeah. Right. So the next ingredient we've talked about a lot, elderberry. So we won't talk about that too much, but it just as a reminder, it has powerful antioxidants. It's been, gosh, one of the things that I think one of the herbs that became so popular when that dreaded virus with the big letter C started coming about years back.
Yeah.
So yeah, elderberry became very popular during that time because it's so good for the immune system. If you have a cold, flu virus, then this is the one thing, and I fully believe that this is the one thing that has prevented me from catching anything because I haven't had a cold or flu. I don't get I shouldn't say that on here, but um,
Hey, knock on wood.
this is considered to be my flu shot. It's because it has kept me well. And those of you who knew me when I was first diagnosed with lupus and all of the stories behind that, for me to be standing here talking to you guys today in this condition is a miracle. And this is one that I work with, the elderberry I worked with every single day for a number of years. Now because I'm learning to balance my intake and I shouldn't say balance, but know what my body wants on a daily basis. It's one thing I do is I check in with my body every day. I wake up in the morning, I sit for a few minutes, I meditate, and I check in with my body. And my body will literally tell me what I need for that day. And I occasionally I'll do a card pull, and I have an herbal tarot set that will tell me what particular herb I should be working with on that day as well. I do chakra balancing on that particular area that might need some help. So I've gotten to where I'm an intuitive of what my body is saying. If my body talks to me, your body talks to you. You just might not hear it. But when you get to that place where you're so in tuned, you'll be able to say, oh, okay, so what are you trying to tell me now? And you listen, you check in, and that way I know what herbs I should be working with, what foods I need to be working with, what chakra I need to be balancing. There's we could go into that's like a whole other discussion right there. But when you check in with your body on a daily basis, your body tells you what you need. It really does. So elderberry is anti-inflammatory, helps with headaches, helps with fevers, kidney problems. Has There's a lot of research that has been done with it surrounding epilepsy. Again, this is not a cure. We're not touting a cure. If you are on epileptic medication, check with your doctor first. Do not substitute this for anything you might be taking. It's also been shown to alleviate stress, anxiety, those type of things. And there's a lot of research that has been done around elderberry and HIV and AIDS. And there's lots of articles written out there. So go and do your own digging on that. But lots of research, lots of scientific research out there showing just how powerful elderberry really is. You'll also find a couple articles that will tell you that elderberry is nothing. I'm going to tell you right now, elderberry is a very powerful herb and a fruit, I should say, berry. Um, and it became very popular, extremely popular over the last couple of years for one reason.
It went boom
Literally. I mean,
everywhere.
it's been popular for hundreds of years, but you weren't necessarily hearing about it until, you know, a certain 2 years ago. Yeah.
Right. So for me, the elderberry plant and the elderberry flowers is associated with death and rebirth. It helps you with your psychic connection. It is the in between the spiritual and therapeutic protection around you. It is about the fairies because elder is all about the fairies and what they call into. So since we already have talked about this before, you can go back and I discussed everything about how the fairies love this and how to connect. But that's what I have for you. And remember, this, once again, it is connection. It is your psychic connection. Where are we going again? We are connecting again. So look at this tea. It is opening you up.
Yes. And on a, special note here, if you go back and look at all of the royal cakes that have been made throughout the, however many years, elderflower, which is what comes before the berry. If you leave the flowers on long enough, you eventually get the berries. But the elderflower is what's been put into wedding cakes of all of the, any royalty that gets married, elderflower is what's put in there. So that should tell you something. All right, so orange peel, again, we've talked about this extensively, but main benefits there would be for the immune system, the digestive system. And the orange peel has been said to be even more powerful than the actual pulp itself. There's more benefits to orange peel than actually eating the inside of the fruit. Okay, so the next time you peel an orange, save that peel. Don't throw it in the trash.
Absolutely. You should have a bowl full of it, a bowl full of it, because
Yeah.
when
Save it, dry it, even freeze it. If you don't want to dry it, freeze it and you pull it out. You can blend it up into your smoothies. If it's dried, you can blend it up into a powder. You can put it into smoothies. You can make a skin scrub. So many ways of working with orange peel, but point is it's really good for the immune system, um, anti-allergic, anti-inflammatory, improves your digestive system, which is where most of your immune system resides, which is in the gut area. Oh gosh, so much. Improves your eye health. That's what a lot of us were told when we were young. Eating oranges is really good for your eyesight, among other things. And it's said that it could also help with weight loss, help to regulate blood sugar, and we could go on and on and on just with that simple orange peel. So save your orange peels from here on out. Click on the playlist and you'll find other videos that talk about the orange peel in great detail.
yes, it is. Remember, it is a masculine. It is a love fruit. It's really good to eat, and it calls in love. Back in the day, remember, back in the day when there was no toothpaste and we didn't wash, they would eat this fruit before they would communicate the royalty because of the sweetness of it. And the powder of the peel is prosperity and used in many, many, many rituals. So you can look at all of them up online, and it's just those peels. Don't throw them away. You can just shave them and have them, put them on a candle and call in prosperity. And just put it on a candle and watch your whole house smell amazing.
Yeah, yeah. Or boiling it on the stovetop, putting on
Mm-hmm.
this. Yes, your house will smell amazing, amazing. So this next ingredient, I know we're going through some of these a little fast. It's because we've already spoken about them in detail. So we're not going to, go into a lot of these in great detail, except the ones we hadn't talked about before. Now this one, bergamot leaf. Bergamot leaf, um, you won't believe it, but it's quite pricey. If you've ever tried to buy bergamot essential oil, that's also one of the more expensive ones. The bergamot leaf is in here. And bergamot leaf is actually the bergamot essential oil is what's in Earl Grey tea. If you love Earl Grey tea, that distinct flavor that's in there is from bergamot. The
Oh,
bergamot leaf, bergamot is actually a citrus fruit that grows primarily in southern Italy. In 2019, there was a review that was done. If you can go back and rewind this so that you can get the detail. But in 2019, there was a review that was done by the Integrative Food and Nutrition and Metabolism magazine. What do you call those? It's a medical journal, a journal. That's the word I'm trying to find. So you can go in and you can find a lot of detail on bergamot and just how beneficial and how powerful this fruit and leaf really is. It contains a lot of different phytochemicals, different flavonoids, and talks about all of the different health promoting compounds that are in there. Um, it does help to lower your risk of cardiovascular diseases, helps to manage your blood sugar, anti-inflammatory, helps alleviate anxiety. It's We could go on and on with this. Bergamot, when you smell bergamot, there is a distinct aroma to it. It's unmistakable. And so if you're, like I said, if you love Earl Grey tea, that is why you love Earl Grey tea, because the other part of Earl Grey tea is just black tea. It's black
right.
tea combined with the bergamot.
Bergamot.
Makes
Hmm.
it that makes it that distinct flavor. Now, there are a couple side effects. Um, in 2015, and when I read this article, it was like, well, who does that? In 2015, there was a study that was done where a man drank 4 liters, 4 liters, you know how much that is, of Earl Grey tea on a daily basis for 5 weeks. And then said, well, I'm experiencing a few symptoms. And when I read that, it's like, well, number one, who drinks 4 liters of Earl Grey tea on a daily basis?
Why?
Nobody does. This was a study that was done because they were trying to see if Earl Grey and Earl Grey tea gave people side effects.
Okay,
And I thought, well, nobody drinks 4 liters of Earl Grey tea for 5 weeks.
that's a lot.
That's
That's
a
a
lot.
lot.
I mean, most
Woo.
people drink maybe 2 cups of Earl Grey tea daily, but not 4 liters. I mean, think of a 2 liter bottle of Coke or Sprite or 7 Up, whatever the case is. Imagine drinking 2 of those in Earl Grey every single day for 5 weeks. And they were just mild symptoms that this guy experienced. They weren't anything serious. But when I found that article, I said, I'm going to mention that. But it's like, who drinks 4 liters of tea? Any tea, right?
I mean, iced tea, but I mean, yeah, on a
Right.
really hot day, you could, but even that gets to a limit, right? Like, I can't see constantly. Like, I don't know.
I know. So that's what I have for actually if oh, one other caveat is if you are drinking Earl Grey or any tea containing bergamot, you are advised to stop drinking it or taking the supplements if you're taking supplements 2 weeks prior to having any kind of surgery done. And the best time to drink any tea containing bergamot would be prior to eating because it's going to really get your metabolism going and have some fun stuff with your digestive system.
How much fun? Okay. Is it running fun or is it okay fun? No,
No,
stop. Don't
no,
say
no.
that.
It's good fun. We're talking about your metabolism and it helps
Right.
with digestion, breaking down the food. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. So it is what. what she said is connected with Earl Grey, and it is connected. It is the masculine. It is Mars. It is that fire energy. It helps repel negativity. So imagine that one ingredient helps you repel negativity. So imagine.
Oh, hold on.
Am I
Sorry,
back?
NJ. Sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. So that's what I
No,
have
let's
for
still do
that
it
one.
for a second.
It's a couple of them. A couple of these ingredients, as you can see, they are protection. They are protection. It's all about repelling energy and deep protection, and that's what this one is about too. I thought it was quite amazing to have it. Um, and here, the dragons are always protecting. Here's another dragon. So I'm just gonna, as I said, protection. I had to show my dragon again. What is the next ingredients in this one?
The next ingredient is licorice root.
Mm-hmm.
So with licorice root, we've talked about that extensively as well. But again, here we see a lot of digestive benefits. Helps with heartburn, with acid reflux, helps with hot flashes. And again, we've talked about this in another, there was another
Right.
tea, I don't remember which one, but it's they'll all be linked. So you'll be able to go back and look. But used a lot for sore throats because there's like a gelatinous material in or compound in licorice root that does help to soothe sore throats. It has been used to flavor foods for hundreds of years. It helps with treating acne, helps with eczema. People with peptic ulcers get a lot of relief when they drink a tea that has licorice root in it. And that again is because of that the I guess it's a mucilage type of compound that tends to kind of coat your stomach and coat the trachea anywhere that you might experience issues from the acid reflux or heartburn. So this has been used for those type of symptoms for many years. It has been shown to have anti-cancer properties, and there are many articles out there that prove this. This is why I mention it in these videos, because there's scientific evidence to show this. It's been shown that it can also help to prevent against cavities. And there was a really interesting study that was done. There was a 3-week study that was done on 66 preschool students who were given licorice root containing 15 milligrams. No, they were given lollipops containing 15 milligrams of licorice root. Um, they were sugar free as well. And they were given these lollipops twice a day for 3 weeks and shown that it helped to reduce cavities. Because it helped to reduce the bacteria in the mouth that actually caused the cavities. So that was a really interesting study. There's also a lot of studies being done on relating to hepatitis C and how licorice root helps to reduce the spread of hepatitis C. And the FDA, the Food and Drug Administration, actually deems this to be very safe. But again, do not overdo it, because too much of a good thing can, we always say that too much of a good thing can be bad for you. And that is it for licorice root. Again, there are other videos that have much more details.
Yes. Look at what licorice root. Once again, we're talking about a protection. It's about fidelity. It's about lust. It's about love. Back in the day, the cutest story that I found was licorice root. They would, for love, they would take the root and they would carve their intentions on the root. And then they would throw it in the water. And as it would grow, so with their intentions of love. And then when it came to the licorice, the cavities back in the day, they would chew on it and eat on it. So it helped with the cavities to bring down. It would chew. Not only did it help give a flavor in their mouth, so their mouth didn't have that, because when you have an infection, your mouth starts to smell. So they would chew on it. It would help with the infection, and it would also alleviate their mouth of the smell. So that's the cowboys back in, I'm talking way back. They would just grab it up, and that was the herb they used.
Mm-hmm. And funny enough, there are several tribes in Africa, that are, I guess they're considered to be nomadic tribes that chew on licorice root as a toothbrush. because they don't have access to, our regular toothbrushes. So licorice root is the toothbrush. And I remember when I first learned that, my youngest son, he said, when we went to Mrs. Mango's, she has the sticks that you can buy, long pieces that you can buy, and he got himself a few, and he would just sit there and we would just chew on them. And you know what? He doesn't have any cavities. Yeah. Okay. Raspberry leaf is the next ingredient. And I think we have spoken about these two other
Yeah,
ingredients before as well.
just recently,
Raspberry,
because mm-hmm.
yeah, just very recently. So we'll go ahead and we'll pin those as well. But raspberry leaf, again, loaded with antioxidants. It's anti-inflammatory. It helps to protect against heart disease. Scientific evidence is there. It's antibacterial, helps to lower blood pressure, loaded with vitamins A, B, and C, contributes to bone health, brain health, improve cognitive function, helps with your immune system, skin, reproductive health. What doesn't raspberry leaf do?
It's yummy to eat.
Yes, all of those things. So again, you'll see that this tea, I mean, this tea blend helps so many different, pretty much your entire body. When you break down all of the different body parts that each of these ingredients is supposed to help with, you pretty much got the whole body covered. There's magnesium in here, which is good for muscle and nerve function, also good for blood pressure. There's potassium in here, which helps to boost your cell and nerve function. There's calcium for your teeth and bones. Yes, that is raspberry leaf in a nutshell. Again, extensive details on that in other videos.
Yes, I see. So here, raspberry is associated with Venus and love. It is a water element and it's used for protection in love. So when you want to protect your heart and you want to go in there, grab some raspberries. You can powder it up. You can mush it up. You can make a candle. You can eat it. You can drink it as a tea. You can use it in many ways to protect yourself. It becomes a sure shield of love and compassion. That's what I have for raspberry.
Black currant. I'm going to let MJ talk about the magical aspects of this because I have to step away for one moment. I have a little bit of an emergency I have to fix. And
Sure,
then I'll
no
come
worries.
back and I'll talk about the details. Thank you, MJ.
You're welcome. Black currant is a masculine, and once again, it's fire. It's Mars energy. It's that black. Now, all black herbs is just like all black crystals. They are used for protection, to get rid of negativity, to expel, especially when it comes to negativity, your own negativity. So, say you're having a bad day, and you're just like, I'm suck. My boss screamed at me, and I'm horrible, and you take everything in. You are giving yourself your own negativity. So what this does, it helps repel it and push it away. And say someone else's energy came to you, it's in that same form that it helps push it away. So that's what I have for you for that one. It's really good, beneficial, but it was always used back in the day as something for curses and expel and to banish someone. They really use this one to banish people out your life. So say, I mean, if you want to go down there, I'm trying to be as not as possible, but if you want to jump down that hole, 1-800 call MJ. But no, you, no, seriously, on a serious note, if someone's in your life and you feel like I can't, I'm going to stand up. I'm going to stand up and say this. Sometimes people don't belong in your life and you need to get rid of them. And that's that energy again. Get rid of their energy. Because when you get rid of their energy, you'll get rid of them because it all go. That's what banishing is getting rid of someone's energy, point blank. And that's what I have for you.
Absolutely. Now, if you're familiar with Ribena, I think I mentioned this in the video. Ribena is a drink that's made of black currants, and black currants predominantly grow in the English countryside. So I had to have black currant in here. If this is going to be an authentic Merlin tea, black currant just had to be in here. All right, so black currant is also in the Lady of the Lake. There's more in this particular tea blend than there is in Lady of the Lake, I do believe, though. Because I wanted this to be, a lot of the ingredients to be authentic and energetically true to what Merlin represents for me. And that is just pure magic. And that is what this tea is. So black currant, I mentioned the Ribena. So if you grew up like me in the Caribbean, you probably drank a lot of Ribena. Has loads of anti-carcinogenic properties, helps with eye health, it's anti-inflammatory, it does help with insomnia a little bit. Even though we were that, and this is the that um, kind of duality with blackcurrant, because although it helps with insomnia, if you have insomnia, it also helps with giving you energy. Because when I was younger, the reason I drank Ribena was to give me energy. But then it also helps if you are having trouble sleeping. So there's that duality to this, you know. It does also help with cognitive function, and helps to enhance, because it helps to enhance the oxygen or the flow of the oxygen to the brain. There's reduced risk of anemia because of the high iron content in Ribena, and that's another
Mhm.
reason why a lot of us were given it when we were younger, because it does help with iron, but didn't really help me with that. Just to give me a lot of energy. And it's really good for bone health, for your teeth, because of the magnesium, calcium, and the copper content that's in the black currant. Also great for the skin. Um,
Yes,
the,
yes. Oh my God.
yes. So there's a lot of benefits to black currant, and this is the one that we spoke on in great detail. I think we spent most of the video talking about black currant in the Lady of the Lake episode. So definitely go and check that one out. So that is
Yes.
black currant, and that
Hmm.
is Merlin.
Merlin. Merlin's just an amazing tea. You see all these
Yes.
ingredients. It's connecting with all the chakras. It's connecting with, and especially your third eye chakra, really to really open and see. And what is Merlin all about? He is an alchemist about letting people see and standing into your powers. So how are you going to create some beautiful blends with this? You can ice it. You can drink it hot. You could use it. You could burn this as a smoke. I want you to know, on a little charcoal disc, and then meditate with it. You are connecting with Merlin energy, and call them in. And just so, and lastly but not leastly, and I'm going to give you my green dragon for this one. Merlin is Saint Germain. Hello, I'll say that again. For those that are on to the saints, Merlin is Saint Germain. That is the same energy. That is the same. Take it back, do your research. So if you're not vibing with that, vibe with Saint Germain's energy, which is Merlin, all in one.
And MJ mentioned the third eye chakra, but I think that this basically kind of connects all of them, because you're talking about the cognitive function, which just helps with, that's your crown chakra. Then we're talking about the digestive health that this promotes, so that's your solar plexus, and then all of the menopausal issues that it could help with women who are dealing with that. That's your sacral chakra. So, and then the tea itself, I mean, this is a grounding. It's, you know, herbs are grounding. So I think this tea basically kind of helps with all of the different chakras. So it is very powerful in that regard. So
I think
it's
it's amazing. And it tastes really good. So if you haven't, please, we
does.
put the link down below. Miss Mango and Company. The number is 321-631-1194. Give them a call, order some tea, and let us know. Come back. Anyone, the Mary Magdalene, the Lady of the Lake. Remember, Mary Magdalene is just peace, compassion, togetherness, love. Lady of the Lake, that's your journey tea. You want to go on a journey? That's the tea you want to take on journey. And now this one is going to connect not only to all your chakras, but it's going to focus on helping you see. What are you ready to see? And that's what these teas are going to do for you. I'm so excited. And for me, it's all about the dragons. And since I can't pick one crystal to name this tea, we're gonna name, it's dragon energy. Let's just name it beautiful
Let's just
dragon.
bring them in. Let's just bring them
Yeah,
in. All
yeah, we got so
dragon.
many. I'm all
I know.
about the dragon. I'm
And
all about the dragons.
one of the things that you learn with when you're working with this tea, each time you blend it, you may end up with a different color, all based on maybe how strong it is or how many pieces of dragon fruit you might have in that particular scoop that you take out. The last time I made this was a really pretty, like deep pink, almost like the color of my shirt, just a little bit lighter. And today it is like this deep orange. So you never know, which again kind of contributes to that magical feel of the tea. You know, every time that you blend a cup, you never know what it's going to show you.
Mine looks kind of reddish, so kind of burgundy reddish. So I love it too. So
Yeah.
there you go. And remember, there's magic in this cup, and Gina's making it. So you know what? Support this amazing woman with these amazing blends that she has. You are gonna love them. I'm telling you, Mary Magdalene is my most. I love these, but Mary Magdalene is my most favorite tea. So get some, try it, come back and let us know. Tell me what you think if when you taste those teas, because they're so amazing. Gina, thank you for
Thank you
putting
too,
yourself out there.
MJ. MJ is like she's like my cheerleader. I mean, like she's a huge cheerleader of mine.
Inspire.
So thank you.
I am an inspirer. I'd love to be behind you, just inspiring, because I can see your greatness, and that all that matters is that you're doing it, and I'm so happy for you. So thank you, Gina, and
Thank
thank
you.
you all for this beautiful, beautiful tea talk. We'll see you
Yes.
later. Bye bye.
Bye.